Welcome back to the Art of Self-Mastery. I am Master Johnson, and in today's video, I'm gonna make it so that you don't ever struggle with money again like I did for way too long. Now, listen to me. This is not the information that's gonna change everything. It is simple. Your implementation of this information is going to lead to the result that you are looking for, okay? Now, if you're just now seeing my face, feel free to do the things with the buttons. Like, subscribe, it helps the channel. I'm gonna help you a lot right now. So let's go ahead and dive on in. First thing I need you to understand is this. Without discipline, your focus has no legs to stand on. Now, what exactly does that mean? Without discipline, your focus has no legs to stand on. You can say, I would like to have more money in my business. I'd like to have more clients that afford my lifestyle. I'd like to be able to buy what I want, when I want, whenever I want. I would like to retire by the time that I am 32. I would like to retire my parents. I would like to, whatever it is, buy the Disney World tickets. I'd love to be able to not ever have to work again, whatever it is for you. Listen to me. All of that is extremely accessible for you only because it's what I do. But the reason why it's accessible is simply because your focus is on what you desire and what you are capable of becoming. It's not because your focus is on the lack of what you are desiring. Put it like this. I need you to love being rich more than you hate being broke. See, because what I'm really telling you inside of that quote is your focus is on being rich rather than the lack of being rich. Yeah? Because you're only going to impress the subconscious mind with your focus. Because based off of that focus, right after that is coming the definitions and the meanings and the stories that are directly in alignment to that focus. But in order for you to be able to focus more on what you desire and what you would like to have, you need to be able to have discipline when your triggers happen. So in today's video, I'm going to give you a framework. I'm going to give you an explanation. Now, again, it's not the information. It's the implementation of it. Just so I can hold you accountable, inside of the comments, go ahead and put the word implementation, okay? Let's go and dive on in. This is what I like to call the transformation formula. In order for anything to transform or become different or change, you first must be aware of what is going on in order for you to have the intention to change it. So awareness, right? I want you to think about the word awareness. What actually is that? Awareness, my friends, is consciousness. If you are consciously aware of my comb right here, well then now you're aware of my comb because your consciousness is focused on my comb, right? We're on the same page. Okay, if you say, I want more money, but then you're consciously aware of the lack of money, and then the feelings start to flood in based off of that focus. You can say how you're saying you want one thing, but your focus is on a completely different thing. It's one thing to be focused. It's another thing to have awareness. So the first part of the transformation formula is awareness. Put that in the comments, put it in your notes, do what you got to do. Once you become aware of the triggers, once you become aware that you're not feeling good, you're aware of the negative bank account, you're aware that the manifestations and the rituals are not working, the hustling harder is not working. In that awareness, you're not going to emotionally connect to it. Because if you emotionally connect to that awareness, well then now this is how energy starts to build within it. So the first thing is, I'm aware that I'm being triggered. Here comes the plane, so just stick with me. The second thing that we're gonna go ahead and take care of after the awareness comes into the frame is intention. That is the second part right here. What is the intention when the awareness that you're being triggered is here? I'm aware that my car just may have exploded when I said I wanted more money. What the fuck? My clients just dropped off and graduated out of my program right before I needed the money to do XYZ. Whatever trigger happens, because you know that's gonna happen, what is the intention? In other words, what do you prefer? Where should you be disciplined to respond by pointing your attention at what you prefer. Because listen to me, with your intention comes your attention. And whatever you pay your attention to, you will intentionally invite into your reality. Now, this is a lot so far, so hopefully you're writing right here with me, but let me just recap. First two phases of the transformation formula. What are you aware of, and what is your intention? If you're aware of the lack of what you have, that's one thing, but we don't have to emotionally connect with it. We can definitely get to a point where we are disciplined enough to respond correctly by pointing our attention and our intention on what we prefer and what we desire, okay? Now there's two more steps to this success or transformation formula. The third step, my friends, is to decide. Yes, decide. The Latin root of the word side means to kill off or to cut off. So check this out. Homicide, pesticide, genocide, suicide. How about decide? When you make a decision, that means that all other outcomes, all other opportunities, all other distractions are completely cut off. I made this decision because of my intention that was born out of my awareness. You see how this goes? Now, day or D means day. So day of death. That literally means that's decide, right? So today is the day where we kill off everything else. I'm going to implement my intention, and I'm not going to allow my awareness of me being triggered to cause my emotional complex to be seduced by it and cause me to be operating inside of that being that then manifests the same exact experiences. Now there's one more step to this formula. And this formula, by the way, changed my life, it's impenetrable. Your success is inevitable if you operate in this way. The last part, discipline. After you make your decision, you're gonna have to make this decision over and over and over again. And in order to do that, my friends, you must have discipline. Because watch this. With discipline, now your focus has legs to stand on. Without discipline, your focus doesn't. You can say, okay, I want more money, and then boom, reality triggers you, and the next thing you know, your focus is fucked. It's not over here on where your intention was. It got seduced and distracted by the old self, the old pattern, the old reality, the old manifestation, whatever that is. So we have to be disciplined enough to understand that, just like with anything, this is a muscle that you're gonna have to build over time. And the only way you're gonna be able to build over time is when you are under the pressure. So I spend a lot of time in the gym, can't you tell? Now, next thing you know, whenever I go to the gym, ironically, when I'm pushing the most amount of weight, I actually feel the weakest. Isn't that weird? Whenever I'm learning a new thing, I actually feel the dumbest. So whenever you feel like when you are being triggered and it's so hard to not give in to that, well, that's because you're doing it right. Not because you suck, it's just because you're doing it right. You're working the muscle of your response ability, or simply the ability to respond. Is this making sense? In the comments, put makes sense, just so I can make sure that you're still with me, just pulse checking with you. See, by doing this formula on repeat, you're actually operating by the rules of science. This is the crux, this is the in-betweens, this is the understanding of what is known as behavioral psychology. Think about this. I want you to think about patterns and habits. If you have an unconscious pattern, meaning it automatically happens without your consent, your thought, your feelings, your emotions, this thing happens and you're automatically doing that on an unconscious level. See, in that moment, what you're starting to recognize is that is a trigger, that is a pattern, that is a habit of an automatic reaction, which then keeps you there. So by being able to, in your awareness, have a different intention, making a decision, then having the discipline to follow it up, what you're doing is you're practicing new patterns and new habits. That's why I don't like to say, oh, you're gonna go reprogram your mind. No, but you definitely can repattern your subconscious. Yes, you can repattern your habits. You can repattern your patterns. And if you are operating by new patterns and by new habits, well then now, my friends, you're operating in a new behavior. And if you're operating in a new behavior, that means you are being different. You are doing different things because of the patterns and habits, and you are having a different connection and responsiveness and conscious connection on who you are integrating into your life, who you are becoming. So then, stick with me, if patterns and habits lead to behaviors, watch this, then that means behaviors are leading to personalities. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza likes to say, your personality is your personal reality. Wow. So then now, check me out. If I have a personality that has the backbone of new patterns, new habits, new ways of going about specific avenues of life and my attention and my focus, well then, because my behavior has changed, my personality has changed. And if my personality has changed, then that means my personal reality has changed. And now I'm in the reality where just because I see a negative bank account, or just because something bows up, or just because I always feel like I don't have enough, just because I feel like I need another client, just because I feel like I need to stop spending the money because I'm bored and I'm just spending more money to distract myself from the work that I actually need to do. Instead of doing all those things, listen to me, you are literally selecting an identity through behaving a specific way because of your discipline to continue to have, don't you get it? The patterns and the habits that belong to that personal reality, or in other words, that identity. Now, all of this work is happening where? It's happening here and here. In other words, internally. So when you change your internal world, you incorporate focused discipline or disciplined focus into your life. And every single time you are triggered, you continue to implement the strategic formula that I just gave you, the framework that I just gave you. Well, over time and over establishing the new patterns and habits, my friends, this is why I'm trying to tell you that your success is inevitable. I want you to just kind of think about it. In what way have you continued to react around your finances that has continued to bring you the same exact situation, right? So maybe just because of that, what we just went through, what you just thought about, maybe because the way that you have been being, the way you have been seeing, the way you have been perceiving, maybe all of those things is the single reason why the money may feel like it's far and in between. But what if I can get you to be more disciplined and focused on not reacting the same way, choosing the better preference with the intention, and then making the decision, and then being disciplined to continuously doing that? How can you do all of that and not see the result? You see how this goes? How can you do all that and not see what you would like? When your reality is you, your personal reality is all being generated from your perception. And if your perception is disciplined and focused, and you are more in love with being rich first here because of the disciplines that you are now holding, because the information that you are now implementing, well, because now that that is happening, how could you not be successful? I know that right now there's a lot of videos out there saying you got to do this, you got to do that. If you're not doing this correct, if you don't have the best marketing scheme, if you don't have the best marketing plan, Consciousness. What are you consciously aware of? What are you consciously aware of and then reacting to, or allowing yourself to generate a new intention followed by a decision, implemented with discipline, so that you can continuously break the habit of being your old self. It's quite amazing if you think about what I'm breaking down to you here. Now, I don't want this video to go too long. If you have any questions, what I'd recommend is go ahead and put them inside of the comments. If you would like to get closer to me, I do have a few available positions at the time of this recording for a little bit more one-on-one mentorship. Other than that, I have a thriving community that, oh man, through the law of attraction and correspondence, only the coolest people are in there. I would suggest go ahead and joining that said community. You can find all the links that you'd like to right down below. But beyond that, and before you even get into that, It all is going to be dependent upon what you are allowing yourself to accept in your life and then implementing the transformation formula. My name is Master Johnson, and as you know, you are also a master in training. Just because it's not making sense where you are right now doesn't mean that out of that sense that needs to be made is actually where you're able to come into the connection and understanding on what is being made out of you. You are not the victim to your reality, my friends. You are simply the architect to it. But it's going to need a master architect who knows how to use their tools and knows how to enjoy this game of life. I just want to say thank you for watching my video. My aim is to go ahead and post. My intention and my decision and my discipline is to post here very frequently. So, in the beginning of this channel, thank you for watching one of these videos. You're automatically that much closer to myself. Can't wait to see you on the next one. Remember, stay aligned, stay focused, and stay disciplined. Thanks for watching my video. I'll see you on the next one.